a new mom isn't easy, and no matter how much you read or get advice from others, nothing prepares you for what's actually in store, and the lack of sleep can take its toll.
Here is parenting expert Alyson Schafer, who joins us this morning with some advice for new moms and how their partners, friends, and family can all help out. Alyson, good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to be back. Great topic.
All right, well, let's dig right in here because you say mother's fatigue is often downplayed, and that's a really big concern.
Yeah, it is. You know, we have a sort of an expectation that it's going to be tiring in the beginning. And of course, you're going to have to like roll up your sleeves and get into it, which I completely understand. But there is also like almost like an overburden where we don't really realize that as these moms are trying to step into their role, juggle a lot of balls, put their priority to their kids over themselves, that there really is a role for the rest of us to kind of pay more attention to what's going on, give them permission to know it's important that they look after themselves. And that comes from not only them hearing some of the tips that we're going to give today, but to take it seriously and to know this is part of how it takes a village, and we all need to kick in here.
For sure. And Alyson, let's talk about what a lack of sleep can lead to.
Well, that's the part that I really want the moms in the community to hear, which is it isn't just being tired. It's not just being tired. When we are sleep deprived, there are certain functions in the body that only happen during sleep, some critical biological functions that only happen during sleep. And so it's a little bit like running your dishwasher and never getting to the rinse cycle. It has to do with growth hormone. It has to do with cortisol levels. It has to do with whether or not you're going to get dysregulated in your own mood. It can lead to postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression. And I'm talking just like within a week of sleep deprivation can lead to depression. And it's really important in those early years, as we know, to bond and make attachments with our kids. And if we're kind of checked out because we're depressed, we're not making that kind of facial connection. We're not really available. So we really need our sleep. It's super important.
Mm-hmm. All right. So having said that, Alyson, what can new moms, what can they do to help themselves?
Yeah, so there is a lot of tips and ideas and strategies that can go into place here. I think the first thing to know is that the brain has to get into sleep, and it's kind of a pattern recognition machine. So good routines, establishing routines. It's good for babies, it's good for sleep. So what is your morning routine? Good sleep at night actually begins with having a good morning, getting up, getting into sunshine, starting your day at the same time every day, winding down so that your body starts to go, oh, we're having a bath, we're having a cup of tea, we're rocking in a chair, we're reading a story, we're singing a lullaby. It starts to move the brain into the sleep mode kind of category. So really good routines. And then all those stimulating things, don't do those in the evenings. Don't go to an evening run. Do your runs in the morning. Get rid of the caffeine. Get that done early in the day. Turn off those screens that have the blue light going at your eyes. You do not want stimulation in the evening time. So start thinking about how you might settle down. And for me, it's my busy brain. So write a to-do list. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't need to perseverate on it tonight. Write your to-do lists. Wrap up your brain.
All right, that is to help yourself. Now let's talk about creating a healthy sleep routine for baby, which will also help yourself and the entire family.
Yeah, so this is where there's a lot of things that maybe people haven't thought about. I think number one is we've just become so fixated on these little monitors. We watch every little movement. A lot of times babies squawk and roll over and move and fuss, and they get themselves back to sleep. We can't jump on every first little fuss. Like really wait until they're awake before we go and respond to them. So that's one. The second thing is we think, shh, the baby's sleeping, don't wake up the baby. In fact, they're used to being in the womb. They're used to having a lot of noise from your heartbeat, your digestion. So good old white noise, get that going. We keep thinking we need to bundle them. Yes, they need to be swaddled, but actually the body temperature has to drop in order for sleep to happen. So we want to have dark rooms, cool rooms, that white noise going on. And don't become their sleep prop, because a lot of times what we're doing is we're still nursing them. And whether you're bottle feeding or nursing, you want to make sure that you don't become the sleep prop. So they have to curl your hair in order to fall asleep or latch onto something to fall asleep. You want to put them down awake. So I like a good feed. Get a good meal in there. Don't just wake up, have one little suck on the bottle or your nipple and fall asleep, because I'm going to be back in your room in 15 minutes. So, rub their forehead, put a cold cloth on them. So get them to stay awake enough to have a good feed so that you get a good break in between those feedings and those early days where they're like very restless and very alert, which is sort of a survival thing. And again, and share the load. I remember my mom came, it was so lovely. She would just pick up the baby from the hospital. She would bring it into my bed. I would nurse and she would take the baby back to the little bassinet. But I still felt so cared for. It was one less thing. I didn't wake up as much. I kept my house quiet. If you get up and start feeding and then you get on your Netflix reels or you turn on the television, you're going to wake yourself up. You're going to really go against the grain of trying to get back to sleep. So have a good feed, a good little interaction, and get yourself right back to sleep. Both of you right back to sleep.
All right, some great advice. Alyson Schafer with us this morning. Alyson, thank you so much as always. Appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good sleep tonight, everyone.
This portion of the morning show is brought to you by Nouris Baby Formula. Visit Nouris.com to learn more.